Hello, Chelsea fans and non-Chelsea fans. Welcome back to the Pride FT. The FT stands for Football Thoughts. Oh, another week of disappointment. Another couple of losses to add to the tally. They keep piling up, but we are here again, reacting as we always do. As ever, I'm joined by my illustrious co-host, Clark. Clark, hello.
Hiya. How we doing? How we doing? Another week of depression.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I'm here. I'm trying my best to stay positive. Trying to give some energy into proceedings. I've
Yep.
realised that in recent stuff I've been in videos I've been in, I've been so low energy, so low effort. So I'm going to try and step up my game and
Yeah,
try
man,
and be a
come on.
bit
I've been
more.
carrying it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to try and be a bit more animated. Before we get well into the video, I'll explain that situation on my head. I'm moving at the moment. I'm in a new place. You know, I'm tired. I've been moving boxes all day. The new flipping shower situation has, a glass panel with a metal handle. I don't even, when you're not used to
As
the
you do.
space, you don't know what's there. I wasn't ready for
Yeah.
it, and I came up from a crouching position and just smashed my head on this bar, and it created that whole situation. So try and bear with that if you can. It's not. Actually, I think if it scars up, actually, it'll look pretty badass.
It's all a lie. I punched him in the head. That's what it was.
What? From 200 odd miles away, okay,
Yeah.
you Mr. Fantastic me all the way. What reason would you have to punch me on the head anyway? What have I done?
To take my anger out because Chelsea is shit. That's what it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about Chelsea. Obviously, as we said, two losses since we last recorded. We probably should do, yeah. We'll get into the first one. Remember, if you can, like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. I'm sorry, I know it's boring to say, but we probably should say it at some point.
Yeah.
We are up to 48 subscribers at the moment on YouTube, which is amazing. So it would be really cool if some of you guys out there could make it get us up to 50. That'd be great. Anyway, first game, Chelsea versus Brighton at Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
We lost 2-1.
Oh yes,
to the Seagulls
at the bridge as well.
At the bridge.
It was shocking. We're not gonna go over this too much.
No.
But oh my god, that was one of the worst games I've ever in my lifetime. Seen Chelsea play.
Yeah.
That was the worst performance I've seen. No one could be fucked.
No.
There was one player, and I said it in my match reaction. There was one player that actually, looked like he put the effort in, which was Gallagher, the one that got the goal. But I mean, it was a massive deflection. But everybody else, fucking, what was going on, bruv?
Yeah. So I'll run through, I guess, like a quick kind of synopsis of how the game went. We were getting battered. We scored an against the run goal through Conor Gallagher, as you said. Mudryk with a nice run, laid it inside to Gallagher, who took a snapshot on the edge. It bounced off a player, looped over their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, and we were ahead. What was that, like midway through the first half?
Yeah.
And then Brighton, who had been slumping us the whole game, thought, this ain't it, Chief. Welbeck scored right at the end of the first half, left Kepa Ruud to the spot with a header, and then Julio Enciso, I don't remember what time. The teenage Paraguayan superstar scored 25 yards screamer and top bins past Kepa to make it 2-1. The goal, apparently, unfortunately I was at work, so I couldn't watch the game fully, but apparently the scoreline actually flattered us because they absolutely battered us.
Yeah, we
from pillar to
gaff
post.
Out.
Yeah,
big time. Yeah, we stunk the gaff out. Kepa beaten by a long range shot yet again outside the box.
Yet again.
And it's just not good enough, man. Why aren't we playing Mendy? I think it would have been a good game to get Mendy back in goal.
Yeah.
Because it's Brighton, it's Premier League. We've already fucked that up anyway. So why not throw Mendy in, see what you can do, get him back into the swing of things. But no, we went with Kepa, and again he got beaten by his bloody T-Rex arms. So it's so embarrassing. But then I've got to give Kepa credit at the same time because of the amount of bloody saves he made. They had, I believe, it was 26 shots or 28 shots.
Yeah, 26 shots. I'm just looking at the score now.
And is it 10 shots on target?
Yeah, 10 shots on target.
Yeah, 10 shots on target. Right, and you got to think how many Kepa put in some graft. He did do some glorious saves.
Yeah,
but
he made 9 saves.
He made 9 saves, but the goals that he let in were just like, why aren't you saving them as well?
Mm.
And Danny Welbeck came on for what's his name?
Evan Ferguson.
Mate, you know what? How old is he? 18?
18, good little player.
Oh
He's a good
my
little player.
God.
Every time I've seen him, I've liked what I've seen.
He was dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
outside that box, every time he got the ball, I was shaking. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
Because we know that Kepa can't do shit from outside the box anyway. And he got injured, and it was a sort of thing like, I wanted to see what more he could do because he was having a good game, and I was like, oh, but then again, I'm happy that he's injured, but don't like. But then, Welbeck come on and scored anyway, so it didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm looking through the stats here, and it gives a really good picture of the total domination. 2.94 goal different. Expected goals for Brighton to our 0.54. They had 57% possession, 26 total shots, 10 shots on target. 6 of their shots were blocked. They had 8 corners to our 2. They created 5 big chances and missed 5 big chances.
Yeah,
which shows you that actually their finishing was quite poor on the day, and
it was not as bad as ours. No.
Yeah, could have potentially beaten us like 5-1. They actually hit the woodwork twice as well. They had 17 shots inside the box and 9 outside. So an absolute
masterclass,
really. Masterclass, thoroughly pasted us.
And I said this in my reaction. It really felt like we was the ones that were playing away. It felt like we were playing Brighton at home. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I don't know, honestly, what actually got into the players' heads. I don't know. Since Lampard's been there, it's just been downhill. People just can't be bothered. There's no manager. What's it called? When a manager comes in,
new manager bounce.
There's no.
It doesn't exist at Chelsea. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And it's just shocking performance. I don't really want to go over too much of it. Everybody was shit.
Yeah.
I said this in my reaction. Every other reactor, every other tweet was saying exactly the same shit. Gallagher was the only saving grace in that game, and every single time I've seen him this season, when he comes on, he gives 110%.
Yeah.
And he might not be the best, which he isn't. He's not the best, but he puts in a bloody grind and he puts in an effort, and I can appreciate that from looking at a team that aren't doing that. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, that's the minimum you want. You want somebody who puts in the shift. Before we move on to the Real Madrid game, then I'll just have a look at our league position after that game. We have to do it, man. I need to keep us all updated.
Is it 12th, 13th?
We are 11th. We played 31 games. We've now lost more games than we've won. We've lost 12 games in the Premier League. We have a goal difference of -3. We're still on 39 points. We still haven't got to 40 points. We've got a loss, draw in our last 5 games. Crystal Palace, who obviously are nowhere near it, or should be nowhere near as good as us, and have been having a very bad season. Since they've got Woyen, have won 3 games on the spin, and are now only 3 points behind us. So, in theory, we could drop lower. Wolves are having a bit of a renaissance as well, with 2 games won on the spin, and they're only 5 points behind us. So, we
look
could
at that
end
goal
up,
difference.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. It's disgusting. And it
when have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen Chelsea with a minus goal difference?
I don't think I ever had.
I
mean, in our lifetimes, we never have. Obviously, we are both pushing 30, but we've never seen an attacking.
Why
season.
Are you swearing
her? We've never seen a season this poor. So, luckily for us, our bar is quite high. So a historically bad season for us is finishing 11th and having a terrible attack. At least we're not getting relegated yet.
True.
It's still mathematically possible.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it could still happen. But luckily for us, that maybe looks as if that's as bad as it's going to get. But there are still 7 games to play. So anyway, I'm not confident for the rest of the games. Let's move on then to the next game. Again at Stamford Bridge. Woo! More losses. Again at Stamford Bridge. This time it was Tuesday night against Real Madrid, who came to the game with a 2-point deficit, 2 goals up on aggregate from the first game at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Yep.
We lost 2-0 again, so it was a 4-0 loss on aggregate.
But what were we
expecting? Well, exactly. So I hear. Again, unfortunately, team, I apologize to the viewers. I was at work. I was in the studio. I'm not a music producer. I was working on radio. I have that makes me have weird hours. So unfortunately, I couldn't watch it, which was a shame. But I was listening on the radio, and yeah, so we lost again. But
So yeah,
you were
I watched
watching.
it.
Walk
I
me
watched
through.
it. I done my reaction as well,
You
and
did.
that is a absolute stark contrast to what we saw at the weekend. Brighton dominated us and we looked like shit. And then Tuesday, for some reason, we took our finger out of our arse and went, "Oh, we can actually play football now." For
Yeah.
the first 60 minutes, we looked like a brand new team. We literally looked like Brighton did on Saturday. That's how it looked. You know what? That's the best football I've seen us play this season, and that's saying something. We're 7 games from the end of the season, and that's the best 60 minutes of football I've seen us play. As soon as that first goal went in, again, we just switch off. We don't care no more. We're like, oh, we're 3-0 down now. We're going to win 4-0 in 20 minutes or something. But give credit where credit's due. Everybody had a good game. You know what, I was saying that, but a couple of them didn't. But you know what? Compared to what we're used to,
Yeah.
absolute different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
And I think it was a performance we could be proud of for once.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, so I've seen highlights, but I can't really get. I don't really have a good feel for the game. But I mean, if you look at it this way, Thibaut Courtois, according to SofaScore, had an 8.4 rating, which means he had to pull out a decent performance. He made 6 saves on the night, so we did give him something to think about.
Yeah. He pulled out some belters as well,
Yeah,
some
he put
belter
some really good
saves.
saves. But see, this is what a proper goalkeeper does. They pull out belters to keep you in games and
Exactly.
keep things competitive. Wesley Fofana scored a 6.3 on SofaScore. I don't know how fair that is. So what I have seen from the game with the highlights, I've seen Mark Cucurella pressing two-man halfway up the pitch, leaving 15 trucks worth of space behind him for absolutely no reason.
No reason at all.
Poor Trev Chalobah had to come and cover and
Yeah.
sprint over like a madman and try his best to make a tackle, but
Yeah.
which unfortunately didn't come off, which led to the first goal.
Yeah.
So maybe
To be fair, it was a sloppy tackle, but
yeah,
given the situation he was in, again, like Ben Chilwell the last game, Cucurella opening up space for no apparent reason, the fucking long-haired twat.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently, he had another absolute disaster class. But you know, I he's had more bad games than he's had good games this season, and the Cuckoo transfer looks like, and we've had a lot of bad transfers over the years. He looks like the worst one we may have ever made. And do you know what it is, right? This is the Pep Guardiola magic. It's not even magic, actually. It's poison, because you know what he does, and he's done this year after year. He using like the Man City media department, they hype up a player. They make out like they're really interested. If you're using a basketball, exactly. If you use a basketball analogy, it's called a pump fake. They pump fake. They go to shoot and pull the trigger and sign the player for massive amounts of money, and they trick other big clubs into spending big cash on a player, who then turns out to be a fucking dud. And they get lumped with them for years. We've got Mark Cucurella probably on a fucking 5-year contract, the most expensive wingback ever. The guy is fucking pants.
Yeah.
He's had more bad games than he's had good.
Yeah.
His contract is going to hang heavy around our necks for years to come. And who
it always seems like a bloody defender as well. Like Alonso, man. Like that again, contract around our neck for years. Alonso just.
But you know what, with Alonso,
it's always,
as much as he used to piss me off, and he did for years on end, at least he showed up at sometimes with a banging free kick, with a good goal.
True.
He was clutch at times. Like it takes a lot to make me miss Alonso, and this guy makes me miss Alonso big time. So,
but then again, he is a murderer. So
Alonso is a murderer. True, allegedly. Well,
no, it's true.
No. Well, legally he's not, according to the courts in Spain. But maybe morally, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get sued by Marcus Alonso and his family. So I'm going to keep.
I don't think our 48 subs are going to be bothered.
Well, you never know. Like this might be in the fucking archives when we're at 1 million subs, and then Marcus is like, "Hang up, let me do a Spanish accent. Hang up, what's going on here? What's this guy trying shit about me? What's going on
terrible.
here? Well, I tried. Yeah, I mean, other on the night, I mean, it's hard for me to really. We know that N'Golo missed a really good chance right at the beginning. I can never blame N'Golo for anything. The guy's not a goal scorer. What do we expect?
But you know what? He was pushing for it. And you know what? To be fair to the lad, what he had to pick up from the other players, what he done well with. And to say that he hasn't played for months on end, to be in a quarterfinal, semi-final, one of them, quarterfinal against Real Madrid, right? And you know what? You can't put you. He done you know what? He done a few mess ups here and there, but overall, Wisconsin, man, he's just class. Absolute exuberant of class. Is that even a word? Exuberance of class. I don't know. Whatever.
I see that Felix, Sterling, and Mudryk came on late on. Obviously, we started with a very defensive lineup in a 3-5-2, so we were there to not
a 3-5-1-1.
A 3-5-1-1 with Gallagher behind Havertz. A lot of people were pissed off by that starting lineup.
I liked it.
Well, I mean, it worked better than others have, so
I
guess you can't hate on it too much. But yeah, so Mudryk, Sterling, Felix coming in on the 70th minute. Did any of them do anything to?
No, not massive, not massive. But I think Mudryk should have started. Because you can see it, man. You can see the player in him, and he needs game time to get that player out because he is class for 5 seconds, and then for 5 minutes he'll do fuck all, and then when he gets the ball again, it'll be on fire again. It's just you can see it's there, it's in bits, but he's not getting enough bloody time to really release it. I mean, you got to think everybody's saying he's a dud and all this stuff. To be fair, he's not going to be the 88 million isn't going to be 88 million because we haven't got anywhere in any competition.
No.
So it's only going to be 50 or something. But I people are saying he's dud. He hasn't had game time to prove that he's not. He hasn't had game time to prove that he's not. Graham Potter's put him on the bench how many bloody times? And you saw when he came on against Liverpool for his first game, and for not playing since November at that game, you could see it. You could bloody see it. It's there, but we got to unlock it. It's we got to crack the code. But to do that, you need to have a go at the lock. And what we're doing is putting the lock in the drawer and just chilling.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you get what I mean? That was a shit analogy, but you know what I mean. It's there, and I'm really gutted that he didn't get to start. I think you know what? It would have been nice. I mean, I said it in my preview. I'll say it again. We should have had Mount as a number 10 to link the midfield to the front. Yeah. And then we should have had Gallagher up front. I know everybody's going to say, what the fuck are you on about? Gallagher on the right and then Mudryk on the left. Not as a striker, but just a sort of a short winger. I don't even know. But no out-and-out striker so they can all have a go and Mount down the middle to link them. And I think that would have worked well. But no, Lampard knows best, and we went with Gallagher in the number 10, which isn't a bad decision, but then we got fucking Shy Havertz up front.
Yeah.
And he's so bad, man. Yeah. He's so bad. And he had a good game and was still bad.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Chelsea YouTubers post that game. George Benson, I've seen Lewis from Carefree Lewis, and Matisse as well. All say that they don't really ever want to see Havertz up front again.
No, and it's also so bad.
It's also a shame with the Mudryk thing as well because in the group stages when Mudryk was still at Shakhtar, apparently he absolutely bodied Danny Carvajal, and had such a good performance against them that he actually got applauded off the pitch by Real Madrid fans when he went off the pitch when he got subbed off. So he has.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's
he has pedigree against Real, but just not the time and not the chance to really show what he can do, which is a shame. So yeah, obviously that means we're out of the Champions League now until at least September 2025. Obviously, when you look at our current form and the disharmony in the squad,
2025.
Yeah, because we're not obviously going to be playing in next seasons from 23 to 24.
And so 24 September 2024. If we come fourth next season, or
Good point.
third or
All right.
second.
Okay, good point. So why the hell was everyone saying that? That's weird. A lot of people are saying that we're not on Twitter. We're saying we're definitely not going to be here again until 2025. That's weird.
I mean, people are just writing off next season, I guess. But
yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it was. And
unless I'm wrong, I don't see that I'm wrong though.
No,
because if we come fourth or above, or third or above, or whatever the bloody hell it is, next year,
so it'll be the 23 to 24 season. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we finish fourth or above, okay. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. I'm guessing people were just suggesting that there's no way we're going to get in top 4 next season.
Maybe.
When you consider Newcastle, United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, in theory they could all come back stronger than they did before. It is going to be a real struggle. Gosh, we're going to have a fucking busy summer to sort out this squad and get us back up and running.
We got to do another fucking tournament in US of A.
Oh god, great. I know. We'll talk about that more, I'm sure, in the summer. That'll have to be our content, obviously.
I know, yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be quite quiet. Although I do imagine there are going to be a lot of transfers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got some ideas though. Like, please, if you do tune into this, if you're actually still listening, we have got some ideas for when the season is over. We're going to be going through quite a lot of stuff, so please tune in. Still, it might be a little bit shorter podcast, but it'll be a good 45 minutes still. But yeah,
we'll try our best. And if you have any suggestions for things that we could cover over the summer,
throw them in the comments, man.
Then just let us know. Just let us know. We'll probably do the typical stuff, but anyway. So right then, so post obviously the Real Madrid game.
Yes.
There's a definite feeling that with the Champions League being done and dusted, that truly the season is over. We're not really going to feel the effects of that, play-wise, until next Wednesday when we play Brentford in the Premier League. Thiago Silva came out straight after the game with an interview that he had with beIN Sports, and I just wanted to read out his quotes here because I think it says a lot about the kind of morale and the situation. This is obviously a big player in the squad. The most senior player in the squad. He's been around everywhere. He knows what it takes to play at a successful and well-run situation. Although I don't know how much he had of that at PSG. So I'll just go into the quote now. So this is Silva on the touchline after the game. I'm not going to try and do a Brazilian accent. I think the first step has been made, an incorrect step, but it has been made, seemingly pointing at the owners. We can't be blaming managers if we don't take responsibility. It's a hard period for the club with a lot of indecision, change of ownership, new players arriving. We had to increase the size of the changing room because it didn't fit the squad. A positive point is that there are amazing players in the squad, but on the other hand, there are always players that are going to be unhappy. There is always going to be someone upset because not everyone can play. The manager can only pick 11 from a squad of 30-something, and that's tough. Some can't make the squad. We signed 8 in January. We need to stop and put a strategy in place. Otherwise, next season, we could make the same mistakes. Everybody talks too much about replacing managers. I think we, as players, must also take responsibility. We've had 3 managers this season, plus a 4th with Bruno where we failed to win. We have lost today, and with Lampard, we have failed to win. Everybody is talking about the manager, but we must look at what has been done wrong and try to change.
Yep. So, I mean, he's not wrong.
No, I mean, he's spot on, and often, the people who are in that situation will know best because he will be there feeling the effects of the mismanagement that obviously a lot of the fans have struggled watching all season.
Yeah.
And I think
he's so experienced
exactly.
He gets it. He knows what he's on about.
Yeah, exactly. But it is quite telling that it's like the game after the Real Madrid game, the season's over, it's done and dusted. There's no chance we're doing anything for the rest of the season that the most senior player comes out and says something like this straight away.
Yeah.
Does that make you worried that the camp is going to get very toxic from now until the end of the season?
No, because there's nothing to play for.
Yeah.
I think that's it now. I think no one's going to care. I honestly think no one's going to care, and I don't blame them, to be honest.
And the vibes though, the vibes are going to be like through the floor. Like, imagine
the vibes seem okay.
Imagine being a fan, like paying loads of money to travel and get to a game.
Yeah.
To just see a bunch of millionaires absolutely just phone it in for because it's still 7 games. It's quite a long time, really, and a lot of games to play. And I genuinely can't see us winning one based on our current form against any of the rest of the clubs we have to play. Maybe Bournemouth, but they just slumped Spurs the other day. We'll talk about that a bit more later. I just feel like it's going to get very toxic at the stadium if they continue to play the way they're playing.
I mean, if they continue the way they're playing, then yes.
Yeah.
But I think with this sort of like newfound spirit, well, I say that, I don't know. I mean, against Real Madrid, we done so well. Are we going to continue that momentum now that we know that there's no European football and that we're 11th and that if you win, it doesn't care, it doesn't matter. If you lose, it doesn't matter. It's
It
a bit
sounds like a
all up.
recipe for disaster to me.
It does.
It sounds like
But
a bunch of players who are already demotivated and clearly not having a good time and a good season, who are basically going to be given an excuse. Not that it is really an excuse, but a bit of an excuse to not turn up. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Again, I saw on the podcast, Chelsea podcast with Eunice and Matisse, and a couple other lads, I can't remember their names, sorry lads, who were saying that they are Chelsea members, and or in the ticket exchange, they're seeing a lot of tickets available for the Brentford game. So it does seem like a lot of match going fans are just giving up their tickets because they're just not bothered about going. So it's going to be a very weird end to the season. I'm interested to see who's going to play. In my head, I just think, players like Pulisic, no more minutes. Ziyech, absolutely no more minutes. Anyone who does, Havertz, anyone who doesn't want to be here, anyone who doesn't have a long-term future, even a medium-term future. I want to see Noni start every game. I want to see players like Lewis Hall come back into the fold. I want to see Mudryk start every game.
Yes.
I want to see fucking Datro Fofana start every game.
Yes.
Like, just literally, just run it back.
I want Chalobah.
Exactly.
I want Mendy.
Yeah.
I want Mount.
Exactly.
Where the fuck is Mount?
I know. So I want to see... I need to see something different. I need to see some good vibes. Hopefully, players get the opportunity to come and show what they can do. And hopefully,
will that happen? Will that happen?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Frank Lampard obviously has a bit of a track record of promoting youth talent. Obviously,
he won't do fuck all.
Obviously, he did it at Chelsea because he had to, because of the transfer ban.
Yeah,
but that to me seems like the only good thing that can kind of come for the next 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I said this 2 weeks ago, or against Brighton, just my match preview against Brighton. I said, why aren't we playing the young guns? Give them a bit of experience. The Prem is dead now; it's done, and now European football's done. Why not rest these bloody old folk and people that have been playing every single game since bloody the dawn of time? So just rest them for a bit and put out the little ones, man. I need to see Mudryk and Mount on that bloody pitch, and Madueke. I need to see them 3 Donnies on that bloody pitch.
We need Triple M.
I need every single game. That's what I need, because they need to just prove that they're worth it. They like L'Oreal, they need to prove that they're worth it and to be available for the next season and not get sold this season, this transfer period. But talking about that, rumor has it that Mount is been approached by Liverpool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of chat about that.
I've seen a lot of chat, but then I've seen a lot of people going, "It's not real." So I don't know who to believe anymore. These journalists honestly just seem to pull out fucking stories out their arse these days.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like Mount. I think would do well at Liverpool. He would. He's a kind of profile of player in terms of like homegrown, major player for England. Very high energy, could press, to the cows come home, which Klopp would love. I can see him working at Liverpool. It's although I'm not the biggest Mount fan. I don't think he's as good as some people think he is. Having said that, I don't think he's as bad as some other people think he is. I think he would be he could be a very good part of our squad for the foreseeable future. Obviously, this Cole contract situation has been very protracted and it's clearly not going well.
I'd like to get more details on that.
Yeah, I mean, we never will. We never will until he bloody retires and we get like a flipping autobiography. But it gives me shades of, in terms of impact to other clubs, maybe not reaching their heights of talent, but it gives me Mo Salah vibes. It gives me De Bruyne vibes.
I was just going to say that.
Vibes.
Yeah.
And so it makes me nervous to relinquish a player who's clearly good enough to be at Chelsea and come through the academy.
Yeah.
Just
and
to
got
let it
Player
go.
of the Year 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Although, as I always say, I dispute the second year because Thiago Silva had a much better season that season, and he should have got it, but he didn't. But anyway, we move. I can't
But
keep.
like, I think, yeah. Was gonna say, I think you was right. Like, people keep on giving him less credit than he's worth, but then some people oversay, that he's amazing.
Yeah.
He is. He's really good. I can't say that he's not good. He's
Yeah.
brilliant,
He's
but
good.
he's not the best. But the
No.
thing is, give him time. He's not in his prime yet. He's still what, 23? I want to say
24, 23,
23.
24. Yeah.
Give him 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That Donny's gonna be
Yeah.
a
Well,
mastermind.
Lampard didn't really start to blow up in terms of like numbers until he was like 25, 26.
Exactly.
So it's a case of like Mount's been around for
And
so long.
Mount's already got the experience. He's already
Yeah,
got
he's played
the
so many
Champions
games.
League experience.
Yeah.
He's already won the Champions League. He's, how many finals has he played in? It's mad for the age that he is.
Yeah, that's true.
He's already got all the experience. Why aren't we playing him? He had a penis injury, but like, I don't get why he's not getting played. It mind boggles me, man.
Yeah, especially
because-
when Lampard is the manager. I really thought he'd be straight back in.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what Potter had against him. I don't know what is there something wrong with Mount? Is he just not feeling Chelsea anymore? But then, if you're a diehard bloody fan and you've been at Chelsea since you was like a bloody fetus, like it doesn't make sense to me that you would want to go anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly contract related. But you're right. Again, we won't ever really truly know until bloody years go by, and we actually found out like the real reason why they couldn't make it work. But you would think that a player who's dedicated to a club will maybe take a bit less of their wage,
Yeah.
like weekly wage, because they do it for the love of the club. Like Mark Noble, I mean, he was never that good, but he stayed at West Ham forever. He might have been able to get paid more elsewhere, but he loved West Ham. He wanted to stay there forever. He would just take whatever.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Mount, I'll go on to the next thing about Mount as well. Actually,
Yeah, go on.
literally 2 hours ago, a couple hours ago, maybe 3 now, Mason Mount actually did tweet that he's leaving Twitter. So he says this. Over the years, I thoroughly enjoyed connecting with you all on Twitter. Sadly, the platform is changing, so I've decided to delete my account. You can still connect with me on my other social media platforms here, masonmount.comey.io. Take care, Mason, with a peace sign. So,
sponsored tweet?
Maybe.
What the hell is Comey?
I don't know, but that's interesting you say. I didn't think of that. So there's 3 maybe key reasons then why this has happened. One, he gets a shit ton of abuse on Twitter because there are a lot of freaks online who like to give him jip just for I don't even know what, just because they're mental.
Yeah.
You're right. It's sponsored by Comey. This is a brand deal with them. I don't think so because I'd like to think that he would put #ad in there so we know it's a Comey ad.
Yeah.
Number 3, this is obviously the day that Twitter gets rid of its legacy verified accounts on Twitter. So anyone who had blue ticks from before, if they don't pay from today, won't maintain their blue ticks. I've seen a lot of people who refuse to pay for Twitter Blue so that they can get their blue tick. So maybe it's related to that as well, and it's a general shift away from Twitter as a bit of a toxic platform since the idiot Elon took over.
I mean, it is a toxic platform, but then every platform is going to be toxic when you're one of the biggest names in football.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be you'd look at the moderation, the terms of service maybe on other platforms. Maybe other platforms now are saying like, look, we've got more like stringent, harder
I've never
terms
heard
of service.
of Comey.
No, me neither. Literally, it's like I clicked on it. It took me to almost like a Linktree thing. It wasn't like a proper social media network. It just had a bunch of stuff that he's done, teams he's played.
I'm sorry, but that tweet that he put out, that looks like a proper manager tweet.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be done by his PR team. Hopefully, again, it's one of those things we'll find out in years to come. Well, we don't know why for now, but but goodbye, Mount. Good luck.
Oh well.
On a different social media platform. I'm not really bothered about what any player puts on their social media platforms because it's all just like, oh, sorry about that result. We'll try again on the next one. And then they never do,
sorry about that, but please buy my Nike sponsored shoes.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is. Every single fucking player.
Yeah.
But
So
you know, yeah,
I won't miss it from Twitter, but hopefully it isn't for like loads of abuse that he's getting.
yeah.
Let's move on.
I was just gonna say, right. So, people, I listened to a podcast. You might have heard of it, called Happy Hour Podcast with Jack Mate and Stevie and Alfie and Robbie. Now they do episodes, different like things, and there was one during the week which they've done before, but they've done it again, which is called "Everybody Has a Price," and it basically means if I say something and you give me a price, if I give you that money, then you have to do it. But there's some outrageous stuff, but then there's some easy stuff, like they sort of thing. But there was one question on there that I wanted to ask Bo, and you viewers at home, how much would it pay? Right, so. Everybody has a price. Here we go. Right.
Okay.
How much would you have to be paid to support Arsenal, right, for a year, and everybody knows that you supported Chelsea and then supported Arsenal, and you also give Chelsea a lot of shit on social media and everything like that. Like you're fully the opposite of what you are now. Like,
oh my god,
you're fully the opposite. For a year, and then you can switch back, but people still know that you've done it.
Oh no! So I'd have to go to the Emirates and do the stadium tour, get a picture because as it stands, I have N'Golo Kante as my banner because I went to the stadium tour at Chelsea and took a picture of his shirt in the dressing room. So I'd have to go to the Emirates, go into the dressing room, take a picture of Bukayo Saka's shirt, for example, as their best player. Take a picture of that, have it as my Twitter banner. I'd have to get an Arsenal top from a title-winning season.
Oh no, you'd have to go full kit wanker.
Yeah, I'd have to.
You'd have to go full. Yeah,
I'd have to get an Arsenal jersey from a title-winning season, which is what I've got with Chelsea. But I mean, I'll struggle to do that because
and then you'd have to give Chelsea fans shit on Twitter.
I'd have to give Chelsea fans shit on Twitter,
and you'd have to at every other opportunity be like, "Oh, look how shit Chelsea is. Arsenal's so good," and all that stuff. Yeah. So basically, the opposite of what you are now.
Yeah.
Now, how much do I have to pay you to do that?
You know, the
it can be any amount of money.
Yeah,
but if I can get the money, be realistic. If I can get the money for you, then you have to do it. It's one of those.
Do you know what it is, right? As a freelance journalist who doesn't get a crazy amount of shifts currently, it honestly wouldn't have to be outrageous because if it would just cover my year of like my half of the rent. I mean,
no, you can't do that.
That's like
bro.
five.
No,
let's call this 600. 600 times 12. What's 600 times 12?
Like 25 grand.
No, it can't be. Is it
27 grand?
Six times 12 is. Oh my!
Hang on, is it per month or per week?
600 per month.
Oh, per month, like what?
Times that by 12.
Yeah, fucking 7 grand.
Right. So really, you just honestly cover that, and I'd be comfortable, and then I could get, you know, when I get shifts, I get them and I work them and I have a good time. But you'll cover all of the worry.
No,
it'll be like it'd be a UBI, it'd be a universal.
There is no way you're doing that for 7.5 grand.
But you know the freedom it would give me, the yearly freedom it would give
me. The
for
yearly
a full year
freedom,
would be amazing.
And then the amount of shit you'd get and the shame you'd feel.
The shame.
And
I didn't think about the shame.
And you know that you support Chelsea deep down, but you can't.
But you can't. Yeah, I've got to rep Arsenal. Like I'll be tweeting after they win games.
Arsenal,
like, Get in, lads. That was
bro.
a fantastic result. I know.
Arsenal, or if it's worse, Spurs.
To be honest, Arsenal was worse for me because I hate
Arsenal's worse. Arsenal's worse. Just think of it. Think of that.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a price in my head.
Yeah,
I've got a price in my head. Tell me what you guys think, right? I need people in the comments. How much would we have to pay you, or someone has to pay you for you to support the opposite of who you support, and everything that I've just said? So you have to go against the club, and then full kit wanker everything and express your absolute desire to love the club for your rivals, basically. For me, it's a milli, mate. It's a milli.
A cool mill.
It's a milli.
And you thought about that? That's.
It's a milli. I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I've thought about this because with a milli, it's not just a year. I can invest that and maybe set myself up for life with a milli, because I'll just go onto the property market. I know how to do all that shit. That's easy. But the shame, bruv. I don't like, even if someone came up to me with a mil, I'd still hesitate. I'd still like, oh, I don't know, man.
Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah,
I bleed blue. Like,
clearly, you've got a lot more fortitude than I do, because I'm like, $7.5 that'll do. $7.5 cover my rent, cover my half
you can
of the
take
rent.
it back. I'll give you another shot. You can take it back.
I'll tell you what. I'll take it back slightly, but all I'll do, I'll do rent and a half. So bump it up to like I don't know, 10.5 grand, which will do me rent, and then it'll do me half my rent as well for a bit of spending money. And maybe like call it 11 grand to raise it up. 11 grand. So 11 grand, I reckon you could pay me to do that. That would cover my Arsenal shirt.
So if anyone's got a spare 11,000 out there, DM us.
DM us. I will make it happen.
Because Bo will be an Arsenal fan for a year.
I'll be a number one Arsenal
fan. And I'll
fan.
hold him to it. But yeah, please tell me what you guys
that's
think.
A good question.
Anyway, that was just a stupid question.
I thought my brain thinking in a
I really
way
wanted to ask you, because when they asked it on theirs, it was a bit of a crazy one, like crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on with the manager situation?
Yeah, so you're talking about crazy numbers. Obviously, we've had a crazy amount of potential managers that have been talked about for weeks and weeks. What I would say, as it stands, like all of the news we hear about the Chelsea managers is all literally recycled, regurgitated stuff, especially from Fabrizio Romano. Obvious, like he needs to, drive interest and clicks. So I feel like all of the updates we're getting are just the same thing again and again and again at the moment. Yeah. As it stands, things, it's still Julian Nagelsmann. There's still a lot of chat about Luis Enrique. There's still a lot of chat about Poch. I think today, though, I have seen definite stories that say that Luis Enrique is not really in our thoughts so much anymore. They're not as keen on Luis Enrique as maybe they have been in the past few weeks. And Julian Nagelsmann and Pochettino have come out as the two front runners.
Yeah.
But again, we really have no more concrete news. Nothing's going to be done before the end of the season.
No.
I'm a bit jilted. I'm trying not to care too much, because as Thiago Silva said, man, it's, the manager is not going to make us good. We have to make us good. Obviously, it's going to help.
Yep.
The most important thing this summer is a massive squad overhaul, and that's what we need to see.
Yeah. Apparently, we've got an absolute firing squad, ready to take aim against about 8 or 9 players this transfer window to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I would really like to see Nagelsmann, as I've stated plenty of times.
Yeah.
I really want Nagelsmann. Pochettino, I have no qualms about it, but I'm so glad Enrique is not in for the job anymore. I feel like he hasn't managed the club for 8 years, is it? He's obviously managed international, which is a totally different kettle of fish.
Different ball game.
And I think, I don't think he was the right bloke for the job. I don't know, in my bones,
Yeah.
Nagelsmann, I really want Nagelsmann. Pochettino, meh.
It doesn't float your boat.
It doesn't float my boat, mate.
Doesn't get you tingling. Doesn't get you tingling.
No. It's, you know what it is, right? It's like an IPA. I won't ever reject one, but I won't ever order one. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah.
So he's one of those, Pochettino. But Nagelsmann, mate, he's a straight Erdinger, mate, straight from the tap.
That's straight from the tap, cool and crisp.
Oh yes,
I'm
having one of those on Saturday.
With a slightly frosted glass. Let's walk in now, there.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that'd be class.
Love an Erdinger, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear that. The more I hear about Nagelsmann, the more I'm kind of keen to see it happen. As you said, obviously, there needs to be an absolute fire sale in the current playing squad. Too many players who don't want to be here.
Who do we want? Like, go on.
Sorry, we've had Bowley and Egbali go into the dressing room multiple times this week as well, and are clearly saying stuff to the squad, and apparently they are expressing their disappointment with the way that some players are playing.
They steered clear of making any speeches to the Chelsea players this week, because I think after Brighton they proper went in on them. But I mean, to be fair, if you see what happened, they went in after Brighton, gave them a good what for, and then Real Madrid, they're a different squad.
Yeah.
So maybe it did have an effect.
Well, we'll see against Brentford. But obviously it doesn't doesn't look really good. Apparently, this kind of thing happens a lot more in different countries. Like it's not that crazy a thing. Apparently, Florentino Perez goes into the Real Madrid thing all the time.
Well, yeah. Well, Lampard actually said in an interview somewhere, saying that someone asked about, do you feel it's okay for the owners to come in? And he said when Roman owned us even, he didn't really come into the dressing room. He didn't really have that player interaction, but then he did at the same time. Like it was like a 50-50. Whereas I think Todd Bowley and Egbali is like proper. They're probably on it, basically, aren't they? And he said that it's not a bad thing. He said, I wish Roman done it more with us, because you feel like they want you to win. And a bit like Ryan Reynolds with Wrexham, he's at every single game and he always comes into the dressing room and he's always ecstatic, and just happy to be there, sort of thing. Whereas obviously it's a different kettle of fish with us, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for them to get their feet on the ground, get their hands dirty a little bit, and say, we're gonna muck in with you and get you on a straight and narrow. Because at the end of the day, it's their money. So
I guess one thing you could say is that definitely the previous regime was a lot more secretive, a lot more private.
Yeah.
Especially
this is just sorry, just saying that this is more of the American way, isn't it?
It is, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like if you ever watch NBA, the playoffs are happening at the moment. My beloved Knicks are playing in they've reached the playoffs for the first time in a long time.
Oh, well done.
And look half decent as well. Actually won their first game of the series, but then lost the second one. Anyway, we move. But when you watch NBA, like when a team wins a championship, it's like the first person to raise the trophy is the owner of the franchise, which I find
mad, that, isn't it?
Actually, I find that cringe because it's like, bro, you didn't get on the outfit, you did fuck all, you just got money. So I don't like it, but it speaks to a different style of ownership, and if that's what they're obviously Todd is American, that if that's what they're more used to, more of a hands-on approach, then fair enough. But yeah, no, as I was saying before I got sidetracked, like the previous regime, very private, very secretive, did very little public-facing stuff. I mean, even when we're going through sanctions and the club was in danger, like the person who was speaking the most in public about it was Tuchel, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Even at that point, they didn't say anything. So maybe this is a way of like
that's Russians for you, though.
Potentially, they're very public, and maybe that, in a way, maybe deflects a bit of the blame off the squad. Maybe
maybe
they kind of absorb because they're so there, and they're so visual and they're in public. That's a target that people can kind of point their anger towards, and maybe it goes less at the squad and the managers.
No, I agree. Just don't bring no bloody American flags.
Yeah, God.
If I see one American flag, that's it. I'm done.
We don't want to see none of that.
I don't want to see none of that. None of this chanting bollocks either.
Yeah, none of this.
We will win. You can win. Off.
Yeah. Play defense. Play defense.
You know what? I heard that. I watched Man City and Bayern Munich yesterday.
Yeah.
And I heard the Bayern Munich fans, like the speaker saying, "Oh, like I don't know, whatever it is in German." Saying stuff to repeat, and I'm like, that's so American. That is so American.
Yeah,
proper cringe. That is.
Yeah, proper cringe. So yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not a good look, but it does suggest that they know what's going on. They get who is like who's there and who needs to go and who's into it and who isn't. Yeah.
I was going to say, following on for that, talking about their money and stuff, our Champions League knockout, Chelsea most recent signings, or those who have agreed new contracts, so the likes of Reece James and Ben Chilwell, I believe. They will see their earnings slashed by at least 30%, or they might not be able to live. Some contracts discussed include potential wage increases as high as 50% linked to our Champions League status.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's a good thing. That is what we've been wanting for a long time. I think me and you discussed this years ago and said, why aren't we more of a performance-based contracts? And I think that's much more an American thing, and I like it that it's coming to the Premier League because it'll create better games, more people wanting it sort of thing. I mean, Kepa Arrizabalaga is on 230 grand a week, I think, and he's shit. But it's one of those. If you don't play good, you won't get the monies. You got a basic salary to get your bonus. You got to play well and get us into these competitions, or keep us in these competitions at least, if
Yeah.
not win it. And I think it's a good thing. And it might be a bit detrimental at the same time. So I think it'll be a wake up call, and it'll either be people aren't bothered by it, or it could be the other way around where people are bothered by it, and then it could go, oh well, I'm not getting paid that much anyway, so fuck them, I don't care anyway. But then again, sorry, if they go to another club, or another club comes in and goes, listen, we've got this contract, you're on 50 grand a week now, we're going to give you 75 grand, no bonuses. But if you play with Chelsea and your contract's 50 grand and you get 100 grand a week if we're in the Champions League, it's sort of like swings and roundabouts. So I'm very aware that other clubs will be coming forward with more stable contracts at a higher price, but not as high as a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be one of the key sticking points in the Mount contract. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hard one because I like the idea in theory, because especially if we're going to go for a younger, less well known kind of like building a squad that's less well known in the European stage.
Yeah.
And you can get those players like an Enzo who's on like 5 grand a week from Benfica,
Yeah.
and he's not on a very high base salary, but he will have big performance bonuses, and obviously that will encourage him to
better
play better.
performances.
Yeah, exactly, and put more into, as you said, getting into competitions and staying into competitions, which is very important for the total money that the club makes anyway.
Exactly.
Which we need to make, and which we're gonna make a massive loss on next season
Oh,
because we're
mate, you know
because we're
what?
not in any European
Not
competition.
not top four. We're not in the bread and butter of the Premier League. We've lost all of our Champions League money. It's going to be very detrimental to our budget,
Yeah.
honestly.
So, and it will also maybe weed out some of those players who are mercenaries, who are just here for a big base salary and
Yeah.
don't care if they play well or not.
Kepa, sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, in a way, it's good. On the other hand, I don't know if it might be detrimental to squad building, because there will be some players who are out there who are fantastic players who may be available, which if we are too tight with this kind of general idea,
Yeah.
that they might not want to join. But look, I'm
Yeah.
established. I'm a baller, shot
Yeah.
caller. I don't need to take a low base salary. I can get a
Yeah.
better salary elsewhere.
It's a what's it called? It's a balancing act.
It is, isn't it? It maybe it's a yeah. You look for you. It seems like we are going for young talents, getting them before they've been bought by a Brighton, so we
Yeah.
don't have to pay 70
You
million.
mean we're buying them before they're born? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But your Andre Santos's, your Kendry Payez, your Whisper, Whisper
Shh.
from Jamaica. You can get them, still for like 15 million quid, but they're not 80 million quid when they come to the Premier League at a smaller club and then play well. And we missed out on getting them for cheap. They'll be on low base salary. So you get what I'm saying? Yeah. If they mix and match it, your young, hungry players on low base salaries, give them really high performance bonuses,
Yeah.
and then sprinkle in the squad with some more established, world class players who won't take that and will take a higher base salary, which is fine. Then hopefully that could lead to a better squad cohesion and a more hungry overall squad.
And I really hope other Premier League teams get on board with this sort of performance-based contracts. I don't know if they have or not. I'm not too sure, but I have a feeling probably most of them haven't. But I think it should be more of a thing.
Well, the reason
and it
why
creates so much better games than we're already seeing.
Yeah, I mean the reason why a lot of Europe hate or annoyed by the Premier League's dominance is because we have so much money, and and we can give players contracts that they won't get anywhere else in Europe.
No.
Like high base salary contracts, which they can't get anywhere else. So I doubt
No,
it.
it's mad for such a small country.
I know. We're just
like
pretty. Our
we are
football just.
balling, bruv.
It's just heritage, It's football heritage.
Heritage.
Football
Yeah.
heritage. It is what it is.
It's coming home. Right, so let's move on from that. Now, Didier Drogba had a few choice words to say after I think it was the Brighton game, or was it the Real Madrid one?
It was
I think it was
actually
Real Madrid,
he
actually.
yeah he said it he said it on a Canal Foot Plus on
Yeah.
a French football channel. He said it in like the pre-game like punditry.
Right. Okay. So he said, I don't recognize my club. It's no longer the same club. There is a new owner and a new vision." Now he did go on to say other stuff, but basically saying, "What the fuck are we doing? And what's going on? Like, what's happening?" And then obviously Frank Lampard got asked about in a match conference, and he said there did his comments. Sorry. So the basic shielding away from it. But I don't. You know what? I don't disagree. I don't recognise it either.
No, I mean Didier's got a point. He was the vanguard of our most impressive.
The Messiah.
Yeah, our most impressively assembled squad and most successful period. He was there at the front, scoring goals in finals, left, right, and centre. He gets the heritage that we once had. He was part of the team that kept us an 86 game unbeaten streak at home, the longest to ever do it in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Made
and
Stamford.
now we can't win.
And now we're taking L's every other week at home. So you can imagine coming from that to what he's seeing now. It makes perfect sense. I get it. There seems to be a lot of people in the Chelsea hemisphere that are now kind of disconnected from the club because the new regime comes in. They fire the groundskeeper. They fire Sandro in the canteen. They fire everyone.
Man.
It's literally. That it's a scorched earth policy. Everyone can get it. So the club literally is not the same. And a lot of players in that position who had major links and ties to the old regime are going to feel maybe a bit put out, and they feel like the club isn't really theirs so much.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's gonna take a bloody good while to readjust. The new players coming in are obviously going to adjust much faster than the players that were in the previous regime. But this isn't going to stop. Like, this summer isn't going to stop. Like, this transformation, it's still going to be a tough season next season.
Yeah.
And we just got to do our best to encourage players to take on the new regime and to take on everything on board, and not cut ties, but like in your mind, sort of like just cut ties with the old, because it's never coming back.
Yeah.
So you might as well get used to the new.
Yeah.
Because if you don't embrace it, you're gonna fucking loathe it.
Yeah. I hope that the new ownership maybe pay more respect to what made Chelsea worth $4 billion in the first place. Yeah. And maybe tried harder to integrate players, ex-players like Drogba, get them back in and say, look, we love what you did for the club before we were here. We want to see you be more involved. Maybe that would be a good way at kind of like mending some of the kind of broken bridges that have happened this season, because a lot of fans aren't very happy at all with the influence that the new ownership have had. Maybe that would help. Chelsea will go and play Wrexham in a pre-season friendly in the US on the 19th of July.
Okay, I'm so against this. Against this. Hang on. I'm so against the whole USA tour, but this game, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, let me just get up the preseason dates that we've already got lined up.
So 19th of July, sorry to cut you off, 19th of July at the University of North Carolina's 50,000 seater Kenan Stadium, which is nuts for a university stadium to have 50,000, but that's USA for you. They're all massive.
Literally. So this adds to the kind of current crop of games we already have in the East Coast of America. So 19th of July is the first game. We've then got one on the 22nd of July, and then the 26th, and then the 23rd we're playing.
We need a good squad rotation here because you can't keep on putting the same players out. That's only 3 days apart.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure it will. It'll be mix and matching and that kind of thing. So yeah, Wrexham in North Carolina, Brighton in Philadelphia, Newcastle in Atlanta, and Fulham in Lando. I don't know where the flip that is.
I can't wait to watch Wrexham, man.
Kickoff for the Brighton game will be at 12 a.m. for the UK time.
Jesus.
Newcastle 1:15 a.m. and Fulham will be at 7:45 p.m. We don't actually know the kickoff time of Wrexham yet.
No reactions from us.
No, probably not. We'll see. I doubt it. I doubt we'll be up that early.
But I can't wait to watch that Wrexham game. And just goes to prove, Ryan Reynolds watches this channel because
because he's clearly interested. He's like, we said, didn't we, in the last show?
Yeah, I done a short. I made a short from it, and I did tag him in the story. So just saying, bro.
He's watched the channel. I mean, he could have shouted us out to his millions of followers, but he didn't do that. That's a bit awkward. But Ryan, if you're watching this one, maybe rectify that issue and sort us out. Yeah.
That'd
be great.
Yeah, just a few subs, Mitch. Subs.
Please. We need
or tickets to go and see it. Man, that'd be amazing. That'd be so good to watch Wrexham.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of going to America though. That place frightens the hell out of me.
It does frighten me as well because they're all weird. Guns and
we're
stuff.
We're trying to build an audience, and most of them are going to be from America. We need to be nice to the Americans.
I know, but they're so cringe and they got guns, and it's weird.
Fair enough.
People say that we got loads of knives, but you hardly ever see them. Trust me.
Not that many knives.
But anyway, I'm hoping. I don't know if Ben Foster's going to be still playing because obviously his contract. But he did say in his recent vlog, which I keep on banging on about, but what a guy he is. He said, "Why did I ever retire? He's really enjoying it." So maybe he's there for another year, and maybe we see him against Chelsea in the pre-season. That would be amazing to see.
I mean, he's all right, Ben Foster, but I'm there. I want to see Paul Mullen. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say, I want Mullins, man.
Front, you know what I mean?
I want Todd Bowley to be sitting there like this.
Yeah, thinking about it.
I want that one.
Yeah, I want that one.
I want that one.
I get what would that be? £1 million we'll get in.
Yeah,
whack him
$5 grand.
Be great.
Mate,
yeah.
You know what? Pay him $5 grand and a Freddo. That's it.
He's probably on more than that. He might be on more than that already. I don't know.
I don't know. Foster said that he's on peanuts. So
fair enough.
Compared to, they're non-league, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Non-league.
But a lot of critics of Wrexham obviously have complained that the reason why they're smashing it is because they've just got way more money and they can pay players like crazy wages in a national league situation. I mean, that's just football. That's how every club gets successful. So
that's just business.
Yeah, I get it's a weird one because we're coming from a Premier League standard and from a club that's very rich. I've never been a non-league supporter. I've never been.
I am now.
Yeah, we basically will be.
I literally support Wrexham. I have watched the past 2 games. Yeah. I am fully invested in.
And
Wrexham.
You are quite close as well. So
Yeah, I am. Could actually go and see them.
Semi-local club. Let's move on then to the women's, who have come back from their international break and have had a pretty eventful week or so. They secured an FA Cup final with a win against Villa in the semis. They beat Villa before they went on their international break 3-0.
Easy.
Sam Kerr scored again with a second half headed goal.
Sorry, who's that?
Sam Kerr. The goal!
The goal! Oh, the goat! The goat!
That's why he's the goal! It was a hotly contested affair. The stats were fairly evenly balanced, so it was a tough game. But they got the job done as they do. The upcoming FA Cup final will be Chelsea's 6th FA Cup final, 4 of which we've won. So we've got a good W to L balance there.
Yeah, buddy.
Chelsea will actually face Manchester United in the final at Wembley on the 14th of May.
Yeah.
So that will be a cracker. I hope to watch that. What's that next month?
What day is that? What day is that? Hang on.
You figure that out. I'll keep chatting.
I'm going to figure out.
Next up for the Chelsea women is the Champions League semi-final first leg against a very powerful Barcelona Femení side. This takes place at Kingsmeadow at 12:30 this Saturday.
Ooh, the final Sunday.
It's a Sunday. That's a good day for a final.
So, live stream?
Potentially, yeah. We'll have a look.
Potential on that.
I will say that the 14th of May is the due date for our Mine and M's baby. So That could get a bit. Yeah, that could get a little.
Well, we're hoping for the 4th of May.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that's what everyone in my family tells me.
We're hoping.
But I don't know if the kid can handle that life.
And I mean, if the kid's not named Grogu, I'm not too sure what to say.
I'm not calling my kid Grogu. I'm saying that now. And you can't do the how much would it take? How much money would it take?
Right, everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. How much to name your kid Grogu?
Not for Grogu, it doesn't. So Champions League this weekend, 12:30 p.m. Kings Meadow. Barcelona are very good. Unfortunately, I'll be working on Saturday, so I won't be able to watch. But good luck to the women. Hopefully, they can pull it out.
I won't be able to watch either. I've got other plans, unfortunately.
But good luck to them. We will keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it, and
they're absolutely smashing it. They're absolutely smashing it. Way more than any of the men's teams,
of course.
And so we move on. Know what? Sorry, I was just going to say Sam Kerr again is just outrageous.
Yeah. So we move on to the youth. The development squad was unfortunately thoroughly beaten by Man City, the Man City under-21s, in a result that has basically ended the Young Blues' title hopes. Bob Brecking and Borges slapped in 3 goals. Bob Brecking Borges slapped in 3 goals with no reply for City until Leo Castledine hit a consolatory goal in the 86th minute. Next up for the development squad is their penultimate game of the season. We've got Spurs on the 24th.
Why Spurs got an asterisk?
Because they don't deserve a vowel. They don't deserve a vowel.
In our notes, Spurs put Spurs with an asterisk instead of a U.
They don't deserve the vowel to make it a proper word.
Just a swear word.
Yeah, exactly. It's a swear word. They just get consonants. A big shout out as well to Mason Burstow of the development squad, who picked up the Premier League 2 March Player of the Month after scoring 3 goals and contributing to Chelsea's 4-game unbeaten streak in that month.
What a guy!
What a geezer! Maybe we'll see him at some point in this season.
I want to see Castledine because I love his name.
What a sick name, right? The under-18s had a couple of games as well since we last recorded. The first of those 2 games were 3-0 thumping of Leicester, with goals from Mendel Idowu, 2 of those, and McNeely, and then a 1-1 draw with West Brom. The Baggies scored in the first half through Curtin, with a Chelsea equaliser coming in the 71st minute through Achempong. Next up for the under-18s is Crystal Palace this Saturday. They have 3 games left of their league to play.
Easy.
And that's it for the youth roundup. I know some of them played some international youth tournaments. If you're interested in that, go to the Chelsea Youth Twitter page because he is well on it and he was tweeting loads about it. I don't have the full information and I only started making the notes an hour before the show and I didn't have enough time to get them all in, all right?
So we move on to Rival Watch. What's going on, Bo? How are our rivals doing?
Rival
Watch.
The biggest news of this past Premier League weekend, obviously, Asla drew 2-2 with the Hammers, the Bubble Boys. It basically leaves the title race in a very interesting position. It's literally, I'm there. I'm like a wolf at the door. I'm just waiting for the flipping Arsenal implosion and for them to go throughout this whole season and not win a single trophy would be.
I love it.
It'd be chef's kiss. I live. Chelsea are terrible. Obviously, we've had no fun this season. No. So all I've got left. We have got
rattled by Arsenal fans all season.
Exactly.
So for them to not win anything, would be that magical. Little bit of depression just sprinkled, man.
It would be the blood of my enemies, as it's called. I live for the blood of my enemies, and if I could see Arsenal not win a trophy this season, it would be magnificent. So obviously, because of that result and City winning, City are now only 4 points behind with a game in hand. And they still have Arsenal to play at the Etihad this season. So if they win that game,
Isn't that the next game?
I don't actually know.
I believe that's Wednesday.
No, is it actually?
I think it is. I think it's the same time as our Brentford game.
I might not be watching the Chelsea game then. or I'll have to duo stream it.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I need to see Haaland break the fucking the all-time top Premier League goal scoring.
I have a feeling it's Wednesday, but I might be wrong.
Oh, maybe look it up and I'll keep chatting about United. So yeah, obviously that the title race is still hot and I'm loving it because it's going to be fucking fantastic. Manchester United comfortably beat Forest 2-0 They did this whilst dealing with injuries to key players. Garnacho was out, Rashford was out, Lissandro Martinez was out, Varane is out, Shaw and McTominay were all out also. United have been absolutely decimated with injuries, and that's going to leave them weakened for the kind of run-in. I'm not sure. I don't do enough research. I don't care enough about their squad, but I know that Martinez for sure is going to be out for the rest of the season, so that could potentially.
It is
them.
Wednesday,
right? So we're gonna have to watch both at the same time.
So Chelsea Brentford kick off at quarter to 8.
Yeah,
and Man City Arsenal kick off at 8.
Yeah.
We did want to do a live stream, which I think we should still do.
Yeah.
And just have Man City and Arsenal on maybe at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, but they do have a game before that. Sorry, because we don't have one this weekend because Man United got to the final of the something of the FA Cup. So hang on, let me just have a look. I think it's Sunday. Yeah. Oh no, that's postponed as well. So no, it is the next game. It's the next game.
Fascinating. Good. So yeah, as I said, City beat Leicester 3-0. More goals from Haaland, who now has 32 Premier League goals. So he's tied with Mo Salah's Premier League single season scoring record in a 38 game season. It used to be 42 back in, I think it was 92 to 94, and then it went to 38. So he's got 2 more than Chelsea this season. Just want to put that out there. Obviously, he still has 8 games left to beat the record, which he obviously will do.
Easy.
And City also pretty easily dispatched Bayern to reach the Champions League semi-finals against Real.
Yeah. That's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be an absolute slappers. I saw a stat earlier on that said that Pep has reached now 10 Champions League semi-finals, the most of any other manager, and he's done it in 14 years of management, so fair play to him. A lot of people think he's a bit of a bottler and a weirdo. I mean, he is a weirdo, but that's a commendable
passionate weirdo.
A passionate weirdo, which sometimes we like. Liverpool, they smashed Leeds 6-1 on Monday night. I mean, who cares? Not bothered.
But are they back?
No, they're not back because they do this one week and then they lose to like Bournemouth the next week. So
yeah, true. Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Spurs were Spursy again and lost 3-2 to Bournemouth. Ouattara scored a 95th minute winner for the Cherries, which is going to be massive for their kind of staying in the league hopes. And it's funny to see Spurs lose. They're still above us, obviously massively.
Yeah. We have no right in taking the piss out of
I know we don't, but
season.
This is all we've got. Like I said, blood of my enemies. Blood of my fucking enemies.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. So yeah, that's kind of a roundup of our kind of biggest Premier League rivals. I thought it'd be worth obviously saying as well that now the Champions League semis have been confirmed. So City versus Real and AC Milan versus Inter Milan, which is very cool. So both games will be at the San Siro. I've actually been to the San Siro and seen an AC Milan league game.
Wow.
Which was pretty badass. Like just a random league game, and like the fans are mental, and the atmosphere was great. So yeah, AC Milan versus Inter Milan is going to be an unbelievable set of games. And one of the Milan clubs in the final for the first time in a long time will probably lose to the other team who gets through. But we look forward to watching that when and where it happens.
Yes, sir.
Which I think means that we're over for this week's edition of
the Pride FT podcast. So please, if you like the video or like the podcast, please give us a rating and drop us a like and a subscription. That would be very much appreciated. So I'd like to confirm, but I don't know if we are going to do it. Are we going to do a live stream on Wednesday for the Brentford game?
I'd like to think that we will. I've got nothing in my calendar, so I'm free for it. We've not done a stream before, so if it goes terribly, we do apologise. We'll try our best to make it work, obviously, as best we can. But I think it'd be a good game to test it out on, wouldn't it? So we'll give a live stream a go. I guess
it'd be nice. I'll do some nice graphics and stuff for it. So
that'd be sick.
We should be okay on that front.
Yeah,
and just hope
and maybe we'll do. Maybe we'll do like a bit of a shorter podcast episode because most of our reaction will be done on the live stream. So yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But if you're having fun and you're enjoying what we're doing and you want to see us react in time to us losing, then it could be a lot of fun for you, even if you're not a Chelsea fan.
Losing.
Well, that's what it's going to be. Brentford are going to slump us, bro. Come on. Ivan Toney. He's definitely going to score. Put money on Ivan Toney scoring now.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for us. Until Wednesday next week when we're against Brentford. There's no games coming up this weekend, so nice little weekend off for us from content creation. So yeah, please have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Watch some other footy if you can. And we shall see you on Wednesday for we'll see you on Tuesday because I'll do a match preview for the Brentford game. So that's it from us. And thank you for listening / watching. And as always, up the Chels.
Thanks for listening to The Pride. If you enjoyed what you heard, feel free to leave us a review on your podcast app of choice and maybe drop a like or follow on our YouTube, Twitter, TikTok and Instagram pages. And as always, up the Chels.